Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, or good afternoon, or good evening. It all depends on when you're watching this. Now, I will say this, it feels like I'm getting better, but for whatever reason, my voice just isn't getting better. I'm still coughing a little bit, but my head feels a lot better. I don't know. I just can't get over whatever it is that I have. Um, One of my friends, she came over to the house yesterday and she was talking about how her and her family, they were having the same thing that I have, and it took them 2 weeks. So I might have another week of dealing with this nagging whatever it is, but I'm doing all the things. I'm drinking hot tea, gargling with the salt water, taking the Tylenol. I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm doing everything I need to do, but hey, it is what it is. But welcome to episode 4 of the Behind the Mask series, where we talk about all money ain't good money. However, the parentheses of this particular episode is money ain't a thing. In a Ferrari, something, something, switching 4 lanes, top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing. Da 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 da, money ain't a thing. Because the man behind the mask actually had a time span where he was making it rain. It seemed like everywhere he went, the money followed. It seemed like everywhere he went, he would leave a trail of hundreds. And you could kind of tell the bloodsuckers that were around him because they would be picking up the money behind him. It would be very rare to see somebody picking up the money behind him and handing it back to him saying, "Excuse me, sir, behind the mask, excuse me, you dropped this." That was very rare. So we were able to tell who was really for the man behind the mask and who was really using him for his money. Right? So we are going to drop into that realm today on episode 4. All money ain't good money. So let's go ahead and turn up, Code Fam, Green Team, Codification Squad. Let's get this thing popping.
Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Yeah. People get so confused. How is this doctor in the hood? Navigate the system, refuse to let it take my mind, body, and soul. You see what's good is misunderstood. Divine got me not sold out, but walked in the fire. Develop a real team. Try tested and true. Desire to really reach one, teach one, and learn from one. In a sector where they snake one, break one. Ain't no loyalty, niggas is fake. I see all them leaves. I got the rake, yeah. Let's go ahead and rake them up. Bag them up, yeah. Let's go ahead and bag them up. Rake them up. Let's body bag them up. What's the point when they don't play by the rules of engagement? They on that fake shit. Get it? They can't hang when the pressure cooker's on top temp. That's when they resort to doxing, calling jobs in. Weak-minded with weak views and tight wigs. All of their time spent watching YouTube with no riz. Kids in the background screaming for attention they don't get. For some cash apps and AdSense checks already spent. For some cash apps and AdSense checks already spent. Watch us turn up. 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 Shout out to the Codification Squad. Shout out to the Green Team. Shout out to the Code Breakers. Shout out to Code Fam. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up.
All right. Welcome, 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 welcome. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jumping right on in this. We ain't gonna waste no time. Episode 4, Behind Mask. Make sure you hit that replay. Make sure you hit that like button. I don't know, my brain might not be all the way here, but we are going to get this thing done because we about our mother effing business. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Remember, this is Behind the Mask. This is the series, and this is episode 4. All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. You want to know, this series, like I said, no, not this series, but this episode, although it is going to be a heavy focus on money and where money goes, how money is invested, I also want to talk about probably about 20, 30 minutes. I want to spend on trying to pay for friends. Have you personally ever been in a predicament where you thought if you didn't pay for something or if you didn't do a specific thing that you would miss out on a particular friendship, or that particular person would no longer accept you? You see, when you lead with money or with things outside of yourself, when you're leading your life that way with things outside of yourself, people are drawn to very superficial things that can't really sustain the essence of who you are. Billionaires even run into this problem of people seeing money first before they see them. Trust me, Jay-Z runs into that ish. Kanye runs into that ish. Beyonce runs into that ish. Demonic ass Kim Kardashian runs into that ish. And when I said demonic ass Kim Kardashian, I meant that so literally, it's not even funny. Because her ass got her into all kinds of shit. Y'all see what I'm getting at? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? I thought that was pretty clever. You see, I used to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians ad nauseum. Now I know the man behind the mask might clown on me, just like he's clowning on somebody right now for watching Basketball Wives and stuff like that. And I remember watching an episode early on with Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And as I'm watching the episode, Kim Kardashian was wearing some shorts or some shit. And I don't know why it just hit me in that episode that from the waist down, if you really look, she is so improportionate. It's nasty looking. It's actually disgusting. Her legs are like toothpicks, you guys. And on top of toothpicks, it's like 2 toothpicks holding up a Georgia peach. It just don't look right. And those toothpicks look like they could snap at any moment. And those toothpicks look like they hanging on for dear life. And so what I started to notice was people, this is probably why she goes through a lot of relationships, because people are drawn to her for a particular reason. And when they realize that that's really not her, the relationship starts to sour and they realize the personality clashes and they don't really like the person. They were drawn in by a fake ass, literally. And so when I was observing that siren, isn't that what they call them? The sirens, isn't that the Starbucks logo? When I was observing that from Kim Kardashian, because that's what her ass really is, I started thinking about, is there anything in my life that I could possibly be drawing people to me that's not even the real me? How can I authenticate myself? And yes, there were a few things that I noticed about myself, and I had to fix that. Now, the man behind the mask, for whatever reason, when he started getting consistent YouTube checks over the thousands, money he's not used to, he started leading with money. And once he started to lead with money, he started paying for his friends. There is a cheaper route. And this is what I'm going to do for the first few minutes of this video. And if you're here, this is going to be a special treat for you. And if you're catching the replay, you're welcome. I am going to show you guys something. So don't forget, this is let me get up here real quick. Sorry, Big Rig, gotta take you off the screen. Don't forget, this is, oh my God, did I not? What is wrong with me? Hey, don't blame me. It must be the sickness. It must be the sickness. At least I got the avatar correct. All right, there we go. Don't forget, this is Dr. Binary here. And what I want to do is show you guys a few things before we jump into the heart and soul of this episode. And there's Grish right there and Stereo right there. Thank you guys so much for being here. And this is what I will be showing you guys before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this episode. This episode will not be too long. I do have some stuff I got to do today. Hopefully at the end of this, I can go live one more time to talk about a few things that has transpired over the course of yesterday. People making lives about me and stuff like that, but you know, we will definitely address that. But let's go ahead and look at this here website. All right, I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see that? Can y'all see that? Let me go ahead and put it on the Summer Jam screen. There it is. Boom, Summer Jam screen. As I was doing my research on this particular subject, as far as all money ain't good money, you know, money ain't a thing. You know, the man behind the mask, everywhere he goes, he just drops cash behind him and people pick it up. I noticed that he really doesn't have to do that because there is a website where you can actually rent a friend. Rent a friend. And you can find all types of friends in Sacramento. You can narrow down your searches. You can show everyone. You can show only males if that's your thing and you just want to. Now remember, this isn't Grindr. This isn't Plenty of Fish. This isn't Christian Mingle. This isn't a dating app. This is a friendship app where you can rent friends. You can actually budget your friendship. This way, you don't have somebody hitting your panel every single night asking about a Cash App. Lemon, I've noticed you sent everybody else a Cash App. What about my Cash App? No, you can actually rent a friend and you don't have to worry about the stressors of keeping that friend because you keep them if you want, or if you don't, just don't pay your bill. And then that is no skin off of your back. Look at all these friends from Sacramento you can rent. Now, I know they might look a little, racy because they're trying to get you, but then there are some normal looking friends. Look, look at Luna Lynn. She looks like a slight upgrade from Mia missing in action. You know what I mean? Look at all these friends. There's a normal looking person. Look at Dutch. That's a 34 years old. Very normal looking. Look at Sabby. Look at all these normal looking friends that you can actually rent. Look at SJPJ. She seems like she would have your back. And we know that the man behind the mask uh, loves white women a lot. I don't have anything against older white women. You know what I mean? They cool as hell. Look, he can get him an older white woman that will fit. She looks like she'll be a lemonette. She looks like she could really, really handle some business behind the scenes in Discord. Look at these people. Oh, there's a few fellas. Look, why have a what is his name? Damn, what is his name? Oh my god, the vampire. What's the vampire's name? Oh my god, I cannot even remember the vampire's name. But why have the vampire when you can have Lil Bowser? Look at Bobby. Camille Miller looks like a good fit for the man behind the mask. Look at Gutierrez right there. I mean, there's plenty of options in order for you to budget your friendships. This is a real site. Now, I'm pretty sure that this website has been overran by filthy minded people that are really just looking for hookups, but it started out with good intentions. And I'm pretty sure there are people on here that still have good intentions. There's another a white lady that is your age. I'm pretty sure there are people that still use the site with good intentions of simply just being your friend. Look at Rizal. Rizal looks like he would really just want to hang, bro. When's your next live? I'll be there. You know, he doesn't look like he's really up to something. Look at Shazan. None. Shazan none. Whatever her name is. She looked like she will give Discord hell. Look at Patuni 68. 55 years old. That is right up the man behind the mask alley. And so I just wanted to make sure that the man behind the mask knew that he could actually budget a friendship. That's all. I just wanted him to know that he could budget a friendship. You know? Because we have witnessed far too many times the abuse of the man behind the mask and people using him for money, for clout, to better their channels. Big Rig says, oh yeah, PA was his name. Big Rig says, those MFers will get you robbed, though. That's if you're trying to meet up with them and doing things that are outside of just friendship. And in the case of the man behind the mask, he doesn't necessarily need to meet up with them. He just needs them to be his online friend. Right, Ebony with an IE? That's all he needs. I don't know, Big Rig. I find this by researching, I guess. I don't know. Back from unemployment, but Pay Cash App. Oh, Lord. I don't know why. I don't know why. Best series on YouTube. Well, thank you, Fact. Thank you, Fact. Now, remember, we are more than likely going to be limited in numbers today, but that is okay because, this is evergreen content and there is something else brewing. So, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the series, okay? All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. So the purpose of that service that I showed you is that people that need to practice social skills can go there, and if they want to meet in real life, they can, but that is not the real objective. You're not trying to meet these people to have a relationship, like a sexual relationship or intimacy or anything like that. You are really trying to meet these people to practice social skills. You see, one thing that we've noticed about the man behind the mask is he is socially awkward. I find it very intriguing that when he would give us a glimpse behind the mask and into his real world, that his relationships shone a light that displayed a stark contrast between how he is online and how he is offline. You see, he's a bully both places. But the bullying tactics are a little bit different. Let me explain. You see, what we see online until the recent events of somebody saying that the man behind the mask is their bitch, but online we used to see Macho Man Randy Savage, very charismatic, calling everybody outside of their names. And the recent things that we've seen as far as the threats are concerned and downplaying the severity of the threats. Now, go to real life, we see a very timid nature, but not afraid to get physical. So the verbal aggression online translates to less talking offline, but when he does talk, it does lead to a lot of verbal aggression. Don't forget the man behind the mask allowed a guy by the name of Michael Jackson tell stories. Now, Michael Jackson did tell us a story how his arse literally was violated. Now, we don't know how it was violated. We just know that it was wet. So we're not going to put any jackets on the man behind the mask. We're just going to go with the facts. And the facts are he did get held down at one point. His booty ended up being wet at one point. And he felt like he needed to escape at one point. Now, what I would like to draw to our attention, and yes, this series, because this is episode 4 out of 5. And so hopefully I could just turn the temperature up just a little bit, because I was in the first 3 episodes speaking very general, but now y'all can see this episode is a little bit different as the temperature is turning up and we're getting a little more specific. Interesting how that works. So if you're here, you're here. This should be one hell of a ride. So we are going to keep in mind all the events between the man behind the mask and Michael Jackson that is leading up to what I am about to talk about right now. So don't forget, trying to be in the living room, ask to move to the bedroom, uncomfortable moving to the bedroom, but does it because he needs a little respite from a long night of wandering the streets looking for his next fix. Now, from the living room to the bedroom, I don't know if there were pit stops or what has happened, but all I know is that he was asked to sit on the bed and he didn't, and he realized his booty was wet. And after some time spent and some movies happening and the news on the TV and all of these events, and after being asked to lay down and just relax, we don't know what really transpired because there wasn't very much detail, because sometimes in those types of events you kind of black out and block out memory. But now we fast forward and we are in the front yard of the man behind the mask. And the man behind the mask has stopped Michael Jackson. The man behind the mask starts to ask Michael Jackson a series of questions, because the man behind the mask was being manipulated by his online quote unquote friends that he did not get from Rent a Friend, but he thought for whatever reason these friends were his real friends. But don't forget, at this particular time, he was also giving the troll, i.e., the one that flies in outer space, a lot of money. All money ain't good money. That was great money for the troll. All money ain't good money. Some of that money is great money. So the man behind the mask did not realize that he was paying a troll to be his friend, only for the troll to use the man behind the mask to expose him so that we can see behind the mask. And so that troll that was getting paid with all the money was able to have a conversation with Michael Jackson. The troll was able to get Michael Jackson to get comfortable outside of the man behind the mask house. And so Michael Jackson started telling the man behind the mask fake friends, especially the troll, all the business. And we cannot forget that Michael Jackson said, the way you be touching everybody makes them uncomfortable. The way you be touching everybody makes them uncomfortable. Don't forget, one of the main reasons I'm doing this series of The Man Behind the Mask is because the man behind the mask never once paid for my friendship. If you follow the paper trail, if anything, I was paying to support the man behind the mask. And what did the man behind the mask do in return? Cussed me out. Cussed me out. Without verifying anything that was sent to him. Sounds familiar? Oh, we're not done. And so Michael Jackson proceeds to let the fake ass friends know how the man behind the mask is perceived in real life. He's not approachable. If anything, people run away from him because the way he puts his hands on people, these are not my words, these are Michael Jackson's words. The way he puts his hands on people makes them uncomfortable. Makes them uncomfortable. The man behind the mask realizes that his mask is being lifted up and his fake friends are starting to see who he really is. Just like the Pied Piper would play music and others would follow, maybe the man behind the mask drops dollar bills, y'all, and people will follow. I don't know. That's just an undeveloped thought. But let's get back into the story. All money ain't good money. Sometimes the money can be great money. Y'all didn't think I would go that angle. And don't forget, the information I'm telling you right now was brought to you by a troll that flies in outer space, in whom the man behind the mask thought was his friend. All money ain't good money. Sometimes it's great money. And so as Michael Jackson is telling his story about the truth of the man behind the mask and how he's perceived in real life, the man behind the mask proceeds with his size 15 shoe to step on Michael Jackson's foot in order to get his attention as he's frantically moving his hand in his left eye back and forth saying, "Stop, stop," trying his hardest not to speak it out loud so that his online friends wouldn't hear him. But what he did not anticipate was Michael Jackson saying, "Please Stop stepping on my foot. And so the rent-a-friends that he did not go to Rent-A-Friend to get, that he tried to use a non-budget to solidify, were all listening and like, let the man talk. Why are you trying to interfere with his discussion? You said you would let him talk. And then the man behind the mask proceeded to be like, wait, no, I didn't step on his foot. Wait, no, I am letting him talk. Wait, no, wait, no. And Michael Jackson says, you did do these things. Why are you touching me now? I am uncomfortable. Please stop. Only for the man behind the mask to get upset. To get upset. And start threatening violence to Michael Jackson. And so Michael Jackson retreats backwards because he's not going to turn his back on the man behind the mask. And he starts to retreat backwards, you guys. And he stumbles. And he looks to the left and he sees a gallon Taylor Port, an empty gallon Taylor Port glass bottle. And he picks it up. At this point, T. Danielle, I just got to let it run its course. I've done so much, it's not even funny. I just got to let it run its course. It is what it is. I probably should not be going live as much as I am and using my voice, but I can't help it. I'm addicted. Back to the regularly scheduled programming, though. And good morning, friend. So he picks up the bottle. And the man behind the mask says, what you going to do? You're going to hit me with this if I have to defend myself. And then Michael Jackson proceeds to run away. It's not over. So the man behind the mask goes back to his friends on YouTube. Now, he did not use the service that I suggested in the beginning of this video, and I showed you how to get there, and I showed you how many people that are in Sacramento waiting to be rented as a friend. He did not use Rent-A-Friend. He used his own, he didn't even budget. This is the money they want. This is the money I give them. So he's wasting money. You see, all money ain't good money. But for that troll, it was great money. And so he goes to his friends. He was like, that was Michael Jackson, everybody. That was an episode. That was some content. That's what we do. And but the troll was like, we weren't done. We have more questions for good old Mike Jack. And because the man behind the mask does not understand social cues in real life, and because he was driven by these fake ass friendships, he proceeded to chase after Michael Jackson and try to get him back on the phone. Wow. Now, there are some risks with rentafriend.com. I think this is what Big Riggs was talking about. You can get scammed. Somebody could pretend to be your friend and end up robbing your ass. The legitimacy of it can be very exploitive, sad, because in real life, you really don't have no friends, so you got to be online trying to rent them. You don't really have to go to rentafriend.com in order to, make friends, in order to get yourself out there. Some of the things that should be considered: how about volunteering? He likes acting, he likes doing all those. Don't you know that there are community theaters? Join a community club, join a rec center, be a part of the community theater. There are all types of hobby groups. You can make small, little, real life, authentic connections that will then, in turn, transform who you are in real life, which will directly affect and transform who you are online. You see, the man behind the mask has it backwards. Has it backwards. Yep, still dealing with it. It freaking sucks. But my head feels better. My head feels better. I guess I'm going to go get me some zinc. I know last time I had the zinc pills. Oh my gosh, it just made my insides feel like they were about to be hollowed out. It was just so disgusting. But I got to do, you know, I got to do what I got to do. What I got to do. He would be a good voiceover artist, you know? You know? He would. A very good voiceover artist. Very good. So the reason why, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me get back to where I was at. So what really needs to happen is he needs to make genuine connections. A paid friend is not a true friend. And long-term relationships can never happen. He needs to be out and about in real life, practicing genuine social skills and not threatening people by stepping on their foot, pushing them down by their shoulders, holding them so they cannot leave, forcing them to lay on his bed, trying to figure out what the wet spot on somebody's ass is. And like Big Riggs was talking about earlier, what about the fraud in these online friendships, the scamming aspect of it? You see, at the end of the day, what happened with the man behind the mask is he found a community that he didn't have to really work for. He didn't have to put too much effort into in order to heal his loneliness. But you see, online relationships and friendships can only do so much. We as people thrive off of real life interactions because that's where our real life tends to grow and flourish. And that's where we cultivate things. That's how we find out more about ourselves and how we get better. But you see, he went all in on online type of relationships because of the instant gratification of healing loneliness, but only for a moment. Like I said, therapy is always good. Never frown upon that. Join local communities. You got to build real, authentic relationships. Another thing that I've noticed about the man behind the mask, as we're getting a little bit more specific to him more than generalizations with these final two episodes, is the constant how can I put this? The constant, uh, oh my gosh, what is the word that I'm looking for? I should have wrote it down. Just the way that he is trying to impress us with money. You see, you can tell when somebody has come into money and they're new to money. You see, I'm also new to money, but God has blessed me with the ability to be frugal as hell. So I don't spend money like this. I'm not trying to impress anybody. The shoes that I wear are shoes that are comfortable. I don't care about the brands. I do have a handful of name brand shoes, but a lot of it comes from my kids that buy them for me. It's not me going out. I'm cool with the memory foam Fila's that I wear at nauseum. Those are dad shoes because those shoes are extremely comfortable. You see, I've been down that road, not necessarily using money, but other things where I would try to impress people. But what that does is it leads to anxiety. And when you can't keep up the facade because it's not really who you are, it leads to elements of shame. Psychology today calls it the hamster wheel of dissatisfaction. Now, what I'm getting from the man behind the mask as he tries to impress us with money. Don't forget, all money ain't good money. Even when somebody's trying to donate to your talent shows. I know at the time he didn't think I was helping him, but now I know that he knows he dodged a bullet. You're welcome. But I digress. You see, the man behind the mask, in trying to impress us, sacrificed long term financial security before. Oh, no, not before. I'm sorry. I was reading this before I take the zinc. Sorry, I was reading that. For temporary validation. Ain't that some shit? The man behind the mask sacrificed long-term financial security for temporary validation. I believe him. Hold on, I need some water, you guys. Forgive me. All right, cool. I believe him when he said that he was making thousands of dollars. He was making thousands of dollars. All right, so I have to eat before the zinc. All right, I have to eat before the zinc. So with that thousands of dollars, oh goodness, T. Danielle, there's a community college right across the street. Right, Rachel's heart? Damn. Thank you, Ghetto. Unfortunately, he needs the validation. Analytics, quantifiable. Needs. Because it's something that I've done in real time before there was even collectors. There's comfort first. You might change his life. And we know Fila, they're kind of going out of style, out of brand or whatever. Like they're not the, I do got some Skechers. What the hell? Unfortunately, I have my feet are kind of wide. You know what I mean? And so I got to get wide Skechers, but I do got the memory foam Skechers, but they kind of hurt my feet. So I got to get me some new ones. So good morning, you guys. Let's see. Gas that locked the door kept Eli in. Oh man, teleport and oh man. Speaking in code and I'm catching it all. Free Eli, y'all. Free Eli. Yeah, I'm just gonna get through this because I'm trying my hardest to be a real content creator. The clothes or the shoes don't make the man makes the clothes or the shoes. Those are facts. Fact. Hey Shakima, what's going on, Gert? Good to see you now. All right. CJ, everybody's here. He's old, retired. He might love him. Yeah, just wants to comfort. Hey, I'm not retired, but I'm old, and I'm definitely looking for the comfort. I'm definitely looking for the comfort over any kind of brand. So, but unfortunately, the man behind the mask, he's trying to impress with money. He's trying to lead with money. And now that he has been exposed, and we see that the money has been drying up. I mean, the last time he spoke about money, he was a little bit upset because being live for 3 hours straight and he did not receive one Cash App bothered him. I've never really heard the man behind the mask speak like that, but that's how he was speaking. You see, chasing status leads to a cycle of needing more money to impress others, resulting in this perpetual dissatisfaction. And that's what psychology today calls the hamster wheel effect. You just keep going around and around and around and around, but you're not really going anywhere. You see, when you keep trying to use money to impress others, what tends to happen is this gap. I almost want to call it personified gap theory. Something like that. I want to study this a little bit more because during this series, I'm learning that there is really a lot of meat with this understanding of the separation between your persona and who in real self. Now, I know that sounds basic and simple. The separation between ego and reality. I know that sounds basic and simple, but when you look at what is causing the separation and you realize self and the perception of self is the driving factor that is pushing reality one way and pushing falsehood the next way and splitting you, which then causes this great disturbance with your cognitive dissonance. I think that's worth a study. I think that's worth an article being written. And I'm feeling like I want to do that. I have been asked to help publish a few articles now. And because of my life being as busy as it is, I said no to all of them. But now I might want to do my own. Don't forget that I am a real doctor. And if I really want to research something, it gets published. And so I'm really thinking about the phenomena of the gap, the self perception gap. Very intrigued. I'm thinking about the disconnect that grows between the image displayed to the world. That's the ego. The man behind the mask. I'm the king. I have all the money. I get paid the most. So the disconnect that grows between that image and the person's true financial reality. Because at the end of the day, that money that sat in that Cash App account led to a false sense of security, just like somebody that wins the lottery that does not have sense enough to get a true financial advisor and thinks that the money will always be there, only to mother effing blink and it's gone. And then you go back to what you did to get that money, and the game and the rules have changed. And so what you did previously in order to get that money, you can't do that. What you have to do in order to get that same amount of money is a lot more work. And so now, do you think it's worth it to put the time, energy, and effort it takes to get the same amount of money you used to get by just being an asshole? Or now is it not worth it? And now you're struggling. That's worth a study. Because that disconnection that grows between the image displayed to all of us and the man behind the mask, true financial reality, what that does and what I see now in real time is a loss of self-worth. There's a lot to unpack. I think I'm going to write about that. There is a lot there. It's a lot there. It's rich. It's rich. Because when that reality, right? When that reality starts to really, really set in of, damn, I have that temporary validation that Ebony with the IE was talking about that he desperately needs, that brought a sense of freedom and joy. The Bible says that money has wings of eagles. Why would it say that? Because that shit will just fly away at a blink of an eye. So because there was the man behind the mask found so much validation with those Cash App numbers in his Cash App bank account, if that's what you want to call it, as that flew away, so did the freedom and his joy. It left right along with him. You see, instead of using that money to genuinely enjoy life, instead of using that money to become focused on a real social validation outside of social media. It's media, damn. Instead of using that money to get genuine, real life friendships, connections by positioning yourself to meet real people that really care about you. And the results will reduce the stress and anxiety and increase the happiness. No, you went to trying to continuously validate yourself, just throwing out money, just throwing it out. I tested the theory to see how easy it was to get money from the man behind the mask. You see, I'm going to tell you guys something. This is a little secret because some of you may be wondering why I do the things that I do. Some of you may be wondering, why do you risk the things that you risk? Why do you do the things that you do? I do it because I'm calculated. I don't do anything outside of a purpose. My members that I have, the members only and stuff like that, very calculated. That doesn't mean that I need everybody that's a member of Code Fam or the Green Team or the Codification Squad to be my bestest of friends. Hell, they could be not having my best interest in mind. But to want to sabotage me enough to be on the highest tier of my membership, thank you and welcome to Code Fam. If you want to be what you consider behind the scenes and talking to me on Instagram and this, but you have my worst interest in mind, that's okay. Thank you and welcome to Code Fam. Because I'm telling you, that's a reality. Utopia is only promised on the other side of this life. When you think that you can have this utopia or nirvana or this heaven or this lack of struggle or everybody that's around you is going to be kumbaya and you just have this ultimate euphoria, you're delusional. That's impossible. You got to know where you're at. I know where I'm at. So everything I do, everything is calculated. I don't have this grand scheme of eventually I'm going to get all of my ops and all of my enemies and all of this. Eventually it's so calculated that I'm just going to burn all this shit down and Code Fam is going to stand with our fist in the air and the fire emoji and the sunglasses. No. But guess what? Please listen and listen closely. There are a handful of you guys that used to be my op. You didn't like me, couldn't stand me, got a membership in spite of who I am, wanted me gone. But then guess what? You started listening to me. You started seeing I'm a real person. You may have doxed me and seen some of my real life accomplishments. You started really understanding how I troll and how I move and how I care and how I have a genuine, real balance in my life. and I won you over. And to me, that's really what it's all about. I'm not here to eradicate. I'm not here to destroy everybody. But don't worry, I'm not a fool. I know that there are people out there that want to destroy me. Grandpas, they really want to destroy me. But, anyways, back to it. The man behind the mask could have used those thousands upon thousands of dollars to better real life situations. You see, he could not lift up the mask. Life behind the mask is exhilarating to him. You see, every time he lifts up the mask, he is challenged to grow up. It's almost as if he's playing peekaboo. Let me get in the chat real quick. I don't want to be rude. Let me get in the chat and see what you guys are talking about. What's up, June G? All right, here we go. I'm just getting in the chat just to see. You know, Codification Squad is here. Yep. Thank you, Fact. Thank you. All that money while living with your living with your mommy in low income housing. Also, no real. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to fathom. If you never had money or a talent or a career and you get money by acting a fool, it's doable. Yeah, understood. Quality of life is everything. Dirty paper with a detonated value. Denoted. Forgive me. Denoted value. It's everything. As much of it as he can this way. And now he's not getting much at all. He's not getting much at all. Hopefully he monetizes soon if he's not monetized already, and you know that bank account starts to go up, and maybe he starts changing his mind a little bit. You know, maybe he starts changing his mind a little bit. See you soon, sir. All right, big rig slaps. Okay, there go Liz. Oh, look at T Danielle admitting it. I ain't gonna lie, that was me. I could not stand your ass initially. See what I'm saying? And thank you for admitting that. And shout out to the real K-Fit. She encouraged me to give your black arts a chance. Thank you, K-Fit. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You see, I don't want you guys, hey, Gubs girl, I don't want you guys to start enjoying a fake me. I don't want to be the man behind the mask. I want you guys to see who I am. And then once you have all of the evidence, facts, this or that, and you start weighing it in like, oh, wow, he's not as bad as I thought. Then I don't have to live in this gap world that I want to study. I don't have to live in that world. And it feels so damn good. And thank you, CJ. My spirit always outshines my messy. Is he ready to take the... Danny, you're making me laugh. Y'all hear that sickness in me. Hold on, let me... Sheesh. Is he ready to take that mask off and throw it? Well, that's good. And thank you for liking me from the start. I really do appreciate that. And you told him to stop allowing Pizarro up on his platform, soliciting cash apps he could be getting. Yeah. Yeah, the money sense isn't really always there. So this is my advice before we move into the heart and the meat and the potatoes, and then we could call it a day. And I may just go live again to address a few things, but I can't stay live long because I actually do have to do some things today. Like I really got to get some things done, but I just might go live tonight if nobody's really handling too much business tonight. I just might do that and we can party. We could just hang out and kick it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Ghetto will come up, cammed up, crash out, take out his teeth, start slobbering and yelling at Gip. You just never know. And I'm messing with Ghetto. I seen him, so I'm messing with him. Shout out to Ghetto. Can I say this? And this is no homo. This is pause. It's all pause worthy. It's no homo. But as a friend, I'm beginning to love Ghetto Intellect. No homo. Pause moments, all of that stuff. I love what he brings to the table. I love who he is within the social media realms. I don't know too much about his real life, but I love how he presents himself, even when it's sound, where you can get the knowledge, the wisdom, and all that, and the mess when he crashes out and does all of those crazy things. No homo. Pause all those moments that I'm trying to capture to let y'all know this ain't no gay shit, but I'm really beginning to love Ghetto Intellect. Seriously. Seriously. I'm just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. All right, back to it. You see, what's happening is the man behind the mask, in order to impress us and to keep giving out money, and he's doing all these things. He's doing that in order to prioritize a false, flashy persona. And he's doing that, and while doing that, he is pushing down and burying very deep his authentic self and the acceptance of who he is. And ultimately, what this does, and we've seen it with our own eyes, so I'm not making this shit up, is it leads to financial ruin and emotional exhaustion. Financial ruin and emotional exhaustion, because what the man behind the mask is left with are the same people that he was trying to impress. When he doesn't have the money to give them, they still have their hand out. Now, let me go back to why I brought up me being calculated. I wanted to see how easy it was to get money from the man behind the mask. And so I calculated some shit, and I brought somebody that he liked up on his panel because she was trying her hardest to not hit his panel. And then with my pretty much my begging, she finally buckled and she hit the man's panel. And because she hit the panel, I told that guy I needed $80. Everybody else had their hand out. So I needed $80. And like it was nothing, my Cash App rang and I got $80. Now, you guys know this, and I don't know why he fails to realize this, but every single dollar he gave me, I gave back. I'm not going to take money from him. And the reason why I'm not going to take money from him is because I know he has, please listen to this, zero financial literacy. Zero. And because I know that, I would feel like I'm taking money from a kiddo with special needs that doesn't realize that he's even giving me all his money. I can't do that. I can't do that. And so now the man behind the mask is left with emotional exhaustion because he's starting to realize when it comes to money and begging people, you never have enough money. I hope that made sense, you guys. Don't worry, we are not done. It is time to get into the heart and the meat steak, the meat and potatoes. Lord Jesus, help me, Lord. The meat and potatoes of it all. Ghetto, he better keep the mask. He may need them to keep warm. Oh shit. Oh man. Even with the Kirkland. Yeah, I need the Kirkland. I ain't gonna lie. Shoot. Monday, if I'm not even feeling better, I don't care. Monday, it's back to Kirkland hour. Y'all know. Please listen to this. I shouldn't be saying this on this particular Behind the Mask series. I should be saving this, but just listen. I will definitely get back to the Kirkland series before I go to work on Monday, like I typically do. I just wanted to throw that out there, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Got to start a meeting. I hate to catch the. I can't catch the rest now, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Okay. Cool. I'm no joke. Being monetized is a blessing, but if you're smart with the money, like opening an IRA account, understood. Now, see, I'm not expecting him to get that deep yet, even though he should. I'm not expecting him to get that deep yet because, we got to learn, we got to grow. I'm still trying to figure out how to place my money and stuff like that. But I mean, just to hand it out, lovely one said, memberships over here are important. I am going to gift 5 of them things so that y'all can see how the green team, the codification squad, code fam gives it up. And maybe, just maybe, you might be interested in keeping that membership because it gives totally different vibes. Thank you so much, lovely one. I appreciate that. And I'm getting better at appreciating gifted memberships. Candy Cane said, you know what? I just realized something. Yeah, my shit needs to be renewed and let me handle that business. So thank you, Candy Cane. I appreciate that. And thank you, lovely one. I really do appreciate that. You guys, you the best. And I know, and thank y'all for bearing with my voice. I know it's not the same. Some of y'all might like it. Binary sounds like his voice got a little deeper. He don't sound like no high-pitched yellow Asian. He actually sound like he is part black. Shit. Let me stop. I'm acting like this isn't an evergreen live stream that I'm trying to do. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kiki. I appreciate that. And thank you for dropping down. Hey, Rasta, baby. Hey, lady. Thank y'all so much. Now it's time to get into the steak and potatoes, the meat and potatoes of it all. Okay. And then I will try my hardest to go live again, but we can't stay long. What a terrible combination. Financial ruin and emotional exhaustion. Damn. You can only come back from that a couple of times before it leads to something real bad and permanent. Now, that is a scary thought fact because that shit is true. And I don't want to be any cause of that, but it is true. And hey, Sour Patch, and hey, Ron P. All right, guys, let me jump into this. But binary, you need to be a real content creator and highlight all these messages because this is what real content creators do. You know what I mean? Hey, Tastic T. Okay. All right. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to get through it. I'm going to get through these things. And then we're going to get to the meat and potatoes, and then we're going to call it a day. And then I can get back to, being a half content creator, right? Right. But this is all practice, guys, because don't forget, I will be changing up some things in the near future. I will be changing some things up. He has acknowledged he needs financial literacy. Oh, has he? Has he? Well, that's good. This is my backup. I'm a member under my good one. Just know that binary. Understood. Understood. Yeah, understood. Yeah, I'm not, girl. I ain't tripping, girl. I ain't tripping. All right. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, yeah, I'm bad at this. This is what I get. This is what I get. Hey, Brown Sugar, good to see you. This is what I get. I am bad at this. I think I'm almost there. I'm trying, Life with Jamila. I'm trying. Oh, look at that. Boom, boom. I made it. Okay, now the meat and potatoes. There it is. There it is right there. Look at that greedy behind the mask person with all the monies. He has to acknowledge. Oh, he has to acknowledge he needs it. Oh, okay. I thought you said he did. I was like, wow, that's growth. So, what I want to do is go over a few of the negative psychological effects about lying about how much money you actually have. You see, what we spoke about yesterday in episode 3 of 80s babies, you're not in your 20s. You can't be. It's impossible. Was the exhausting effort that it takes to maintain a lie. When you add finances into your lie, the constant need to maintain that facade leads to high anxiety. We're going to speak a little bit more general, even though we know the man behind the mask faces that type of scrutiny even on today. But that's what a lot of social media influencers face. They get the fake watches, they get the fake cars, they get the fake houses. Everything is rented. They're pretending. Even Bow Wow pretended like he got off of a private jet. Maintaining that facade is impossible, and eventually time, which is undefeated, will catch up to you. And the stress and anxiety of that lie being exposed gets you a nice thin bald spot. You got your hair starting to thin on the top. You're going to be 36, 37, 38 years old with a George Jefferson. That fear of that lie being exposed takes years off of your life. You see, what we are learning about the man behind the mask, and that was what? The chronic stress and anxiety. But what we're learning about the man behind the mask is he is living a short-term life. There's nothing wrong with living in the moment, but when the moment isn't a real authentic moment and it's a fake moment built on superficial, unreal scenarios, situations, actions, those gains, those potential short-term gains, you're smiling initially, but they transform into deceit. That quick validation in that shot of dopamine. What is that what is that adrenaline? It starts with an O. I just can't, for whatever reason, my brain just won't. There's an adrenaline that's mixed with the dopamine. I forgot. I'm gonna have to look it up. Hold on. Let me look it up. Oxytocin, I think, or something like that. I think it's called oxytocin or something like that. I can't remember. I forgot. Let me look it up. Let's see. What did they? Oxytocin. Y'all know about oxytocin? That is something that is kind of mixed with uh uh dopamine. And now that I'm looking it up, they say it's the love hormone. Wow, okay. Well, there's so much to that. I want to study that a little bit more. I'm not going to speak too much on it, but I want to study that a little bit more. But because I talk a lot about dopamine, but that oxytocin, I think that's how you say it, that has a lot to do with the irrational thoughts sometimes people have because they're chasing after that fix as well. And so what happens is those temporary highs, you start to chase after those things. But what happens is when those go away and the smoke clears and the dust settles and you're left with what you have in front of you, you start to feel a little bit guilty. And now there's lower satisfaction with the reality of your life and the relationships that you have. You start to feel guilty and bad for yourself because where did the money go? I know the Bible talks about it has wings of eagles, but where did they fly to? It just disappeared into thin air. Where did it go? Okay, let's see. I think this is where I'm at. Let me get it back in here. All right. And don't forget episode 1 of this series, this 5-part series. I will be doing episode 5 tomorrow on a Saturday. Y'all got me working overtime. I had to take a day off because, as you could tell with my voice, I am not 100%. I'm not 100%. Oh no. Oh wow. Oh, I went meat and taters. Oh wow. Oh, you're the best, lovely one. Thank you for that. He tries to be. He tries to be an influencer. Hey, dropping the T. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Come pillow talk with Bay. The people are here. Thank you. This episode I really don't sing, but ooh la la la, I will do that because it's worth it. So there you go. All right. Every show is an episode. What up, Chucky? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Really? Really? Come pillow talk with Bay. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. There it is. Thank you. I knew you would know. I knew you would know. Liz knows a lot of shit. Liz knows a lot of shit. I should have been looking in the chat when I was asking the question instead of trying to look shit up. Y'all know a lot of shit. That's what I love. That's what I love. Touch or lack thereof. Look at that. Alcohol and rugs. We already know. There it is. There's the correct spelling. Yep. All right. Am I at the bottom? Good. At the bottom. All right. Sweet. So, see, I'm not neglecting the chat. I'm trying my hardest to be a real content creator. So, we talked about chronic stress and anxiety. We talked about guilt and the reduction of satisfaction. What about the inability for the man behind the mask, because of the mask, to be authentic? It took him going broke and being disappointed by people in his Discord that he trusted to really be real with himself and his viewers about his true financial situation. And we got some information that I always thought it was beans and cornbread. So forgive me, beans and cornbread, for delivering fake news. But I always thought it was you. But we recently got some information from an excellent channel holder called Man Code Television. So if you're hearing this and you don't typically run in the circles that I run with on social media, and you're just a person that's interested in the series, if you go to Man Code Television, you can find a lot of good information there. Him and his girlfriend, they really do a great job with their shows. And so over there, we found out that there was a lady that would offer money in the Discord. She would offer money ad nauseum. If you need a lawyer, if you need help with the talent show, let's do our own show. I'll front the bill for it. And I heard he believed that lady. But at the end of the day, she never once paid. And so what that did was it started to eat away at the mask, where eventually we got to see glimpses behind the mask, and we got to see somebody that presented himself as having all of this money even before, please listen to this, even before the talent show happened, we started seeing the man behind the mask folding. I was even taken back by this. And so even before the talent show happened, myself started to pressure those behind the scenes that were telling him that they would help him out with money. Because his authentic self started coming out. And when he started saying things like, I'm doing this all by myself. None of y'all are helping me with this. Some of y'all said you would do this and y'all would do that, but y'all have not done it. I'm doing this all by myself. He was saying that in a braggadocious way, but I seen glimpses behind the mask. He is struggling financially with coming up with the $3,000. Now, mind you, this is a person that let us know that he has between $14,000 to $20,000 that he can just toss in the air. And so we started seeing some chinks in the armor. And we started seeing the authentic self through the true financial situation. And what did that do? It not only lowered his self-esteem right before our eyes, but it damaged his self-image. Another thread of this series that has been following us outside of lowered or reduced self-esteem is definitely cognitive dissonance, which is probably why I want to do a deeper dive into this and actually write an article. Because we seen with our own eyes the battle between the self-image that was put out there and reality. We seen the battle. We seen the struggle. We seen the experience of psychological discomfort within the man behind the mask. Now, I know him going through it was pretty tragic, but to me, watching it and now playing it back in my mind is very, very intriguing and fascinating, because these are the things you read about. You typically don't see them experienced right before your eyes, somebody going through these deep psychological things. You read about the aftermath, but you don't witness it. And we witnessed. Not only did we witness, we are currently witnessing the gap, the cognitive dissonance. We're witnessing it right now. Because those expensive actions contradict his actual lower income. Wow. Something that some of us should look up. Some of you already probably know this already because you have excellent parents or an excellent mentor that has guided you through life. I did not. I mean, I had good parents. I just didn't have excellent parents, but I had good parents. My parents, taught me to figure some shit out. You just got to figure shit out. Now, they gave me all the essentials that I needed to grow in life and to figure shit out, but they never influenced me, if that makes sense. So, financial infidelity, which is pretty much lying about your finances. What that does is it destroys relationships. You see, I had to learn this. I had to learn what financial infidelity was. I had to study it. Whenever I knew the trajectory of my life was to have just a little bit of money, I'm not balling like that. I'm not rich by no means. But I do have enough money to where I need to manage it. I learned about financial infidelity and why you need to be open and honest when you're sitting down with a financial advisor, or just when you're sitting down with your mother effing budget. And don't kid yourself. Because if you have the wrong people around you, they will exploit your ass. And they will use you until there is nothing left. They will take your $250 and wipe their ass with it as they are paying the water and electric bill so that they can wipe their ass after they take a shit. They spent your $250 in the course of 3 minutes when you spent so much time saving that money. And after the course of 3 minutes, after they spent that $250, your friends, quote unquote, have the audacity to come back after 3 minutes with their hands out. You see, lying about your finances can destroy all the trust and hope and faith that you have in these fickle ass relationships. You see, it hurts more than even being cheated on when you realize that your homie, your ace, your ride or die, your co-host, not Lolo, but a different one. I think she goes by the name of Alf, is only there so that their hand can be out. That's the erosion of trust. That's the not setting boundaries. That's the figure out your relationships and deal with them accordingly. The University of Notre Dame did a study. And in their study, it suggests that the brain adapts to lying. And because the brain can adapt to lying, it makes it easier to keep lying and to add on to the lie. Not even caring about the contradictions, you're just going to continuously add on to the lie, making it bigger and bigger. As your lie is rolling down this hill, just keeps getting bigger and bigger because it's a hill of snow, and it's the snowball effect while lying. And you keep telling more and more frequent lies over time in order to support the original deception. And in this case, money. Not all money is good money. Some money is great money. And your friends, quote unquote, had their hand out and they said, thank you for this great money. All right, y'all, that is episode 4 of the series Behind the Mask. I hope you guys enjoyed this this series. I hope you're enjoying this series. You know, we have one more episode and it has a lot to do with substance abuse. So it is going to be a little bit more on the heavy side as we jump into that. But yeah, let me go ahead and end this live, and I will come live again, but it might have to be really, really brief because I do have to go somewhere. I have to be somewhere. Yeah, I wish I had this morning off like I should. It is my spring break, so I wish I had this morning off like I should. But unfortunately, I do have to go somewhere. He couldn't keep the facade up like most wannabe influencers. That's right, Kiki. Yeah. Get me some. Try a hot toddy. So some tea. Okay, I'm gonna try. Hey, my messy twin. I'm gonna try all the things. I've been trying all the things, but I think what I really need to do, hey barn dog, I think what I really need to do is just give my voice a rest. You know what I mean? Just give my voice a rest and then do all the things. You know what I mean? But I'm addicted. I'm addicted to YouTube. I'm addicted to members only. I'm addicted to all this stuff. So you know, it is what it is. 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 And thank you guys for loving this series. Thank God it's Friday and I made it to the end. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I will be hitting that go live button very, very shortly here because there are a few things that I want to discuss. But until then, Code Fam, Green Team, Codification Squad, Code Breakers. It's Friday. We got to turn up.
Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Yeah. People get so confused. How is this doctor in the hood? Navigate the system, refuse to let it take my mind, body, and soul. You see what's good is misunderstood. Divine got me not sold out, but walked in the fire. Develop a real team. Try, tested it, true desire to really reach one, teach one, and learn from one. In a sector where they snake one, break one. Ain't no loyalty, niggas is fake. I see all them leaves. I got the rake, yeah. Let's go ahead and rake them up, bag them up. Yeah, let's go ahead and bag them up, rake them up. Let's body bag them up. What's the point when they don't play by the rules of engagement? They on that fake shit. Get it? They can't hang when the pressure cooker's on top temp. That's when they resort to doxing, calling jobs in, weak-minded with weak views and tight wigs. All of their time spent watching YouTube with no riz. Kids in the background screaming for attention they don't get, for some cash outs and AdSense checks already spent. For some cash apps and AdSense checks already spent. Watch us turn up, 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 watch us turn up. Shout out to the codification squad. Shout out to the green team. Shout out to the code breakers. Shout out to Code Fam. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up. Watch us turn up.